the stone nissi. The stories of Moses and when Christ were lifted up and Moses lifted up a staff, these are all prophetic foreshadows of the end times. And in these you will find the stories themselves testify of the end. The law states that there are 2 or 3 witnesses in a matter, and they will be established by these testimonies. Deuteronomy chapter 19 verse 15 says, 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, and any sin that he sinneth at the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established. So the first account we look at is with Moses when he lifts up the staff and the banner that unites the people to victory. Exodus chapter 17 verse 9 through 12 says, And Moses said unto Joshua, Choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of God in mine hand. So Joshua did as Moses had said, and fought with Amalek. And Moses and Aaron and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass that when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed, and when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And we see here Moses and the people testifying of Moses lifting up the banner, and that it was a stone which helped them be able to prevail in their war. Exodus chapter 17 verse 15 names the place where Moses built an altar for that, and the name of that place is called Jehovah Nissi. Because the victory with the banner and the stone, they made an altar there. And the second time we see in an account of this is when you see that Moses lifts up a staff of the serpent. Numbers chapter 21 verse 7 through 9. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against thee. Pray unto the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people. And the Lord said unto Moses, Make thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole. And it came to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. And it is here that we see that Moses is lifting up a banner that gives people victory, again, over the serpent. Just like he had lifted up the rod before, and the likeness standing with the stone, and the stone giving him victory, he also lifts up a staff in the likeness of Christ, who's to come as well. And this is also seen in the account of Christ. John chapter 3, verse 14 and 15 talks about this. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So Christ would heal those who looked upon him on the cross, and he would become a banner that is lifted up in the end times. And this is a prophetic foreshadow of the end times events as well, because Christ himself being a banner, Jehovah Nissi, it means the Lord is our banner. And the Lord is our rock. He is our rock in which we stand, just like Moses, who got victory standing on that rock. That rock held him up when he lifted up his banner. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4 talks about the wilderness in the time of Moses. It says, And did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock is Christ. And the things that were written in the past are written for their admonition, so that we know that things will come from them as well, that we learn those lessons of the times of old, how to view things and perceive things that was and will be. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 9 through 11 says, Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of the serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happen unto them for examples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. So we see Christ as the rock that is lifted up on the banner for all of these occasions. One at Jehovah Nissi with the banner, with the stone that helps give the victory over the war. One in the wilderness with the banner was lifted up, giving victory over the serpent. One in Jerusalem where Christ is lifted up as a banner, having victory over death. And these 3 accounts all testify of the end times prophecy. We have 2 prophets prophesying of the end times banner. And that end times banner that will help give victory over the war in the end times. That helps give victory over the serpent. Revelation chapter 11 verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. Revelation chapter 11, verse 11, and after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So we see at the end of the 1260 days is the resurrection. After the 1260 days, death is defeated. We see that the woman is going into the wilderness having victory over the serpent during the same period. Revelation chapter 12, verse 14, and the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And we see the woman in the end times during those 1260 days has victory over the serpent. She's under the banner. And that's just the same likeness of when Moses had lifted up the banner in the wilderness, where he had the stone and they had victory during the war. But also the same time as Moses lifted up the staff of the serpent and they had victory over the serpent. The same likeness is occurring in the end times. Revelation chapter 12, verse 17 talks about the war with the woman. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So we see that the woman has victory during that war, just like the war of Amalek when Moses had the stone and lifted up the banner. It's the same likeness. And what we end up seeing at the end of these 1260 days is another war. As the serpent, angry, tries to make war against Christ, who is our stone. Revelation chapter 19, verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat upon the horse and against his army. So all these accounts are in the same likeness. The victory is given in the end through the banner that is lifted up in the end. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 26 says, and he will lift up an ensign to the nations from afar, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. The tribes of the earth under Christ are called to gather. The lost tribes, the remnant Gentiles of all the nations are called to unite under the banner in preparation for that exodus to go out into the wilderness to wait for the bridegroom to descend, and that war that will occur under the banner. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 2 says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. And that banner that is lifted contains that stone. Our Christ has given us that stone, because he is that rock. And he'll bring the people out to the rock. And he'll build his church upon that rock. That the people are protected and saved under that rock. And this is all prophetic foreshadow of the end. Revelation chapter 2, verse 17 talks about the rock, the stone. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that receiveth it. So everybody that's united in the end times with the banner that's lifted up with the stone on it will have that prophetic likeness of the wilderness, the time of Moses, defeat over the serpents, victory over death, having Christ with them in that wilderness time to protect them, have victory at the war at the end of this. And this is a prophetic foreshadow that is found in the stories of the 3 testimonies of these things. And this is the prophecy of the stone nissi.